We're gonna use a powdered lightener for this today, but you can also use color or even high lift color. I'm going with Quick White from Sally's, and it's a 1:2 ratio. If I use 1 scoop of lightener, I'm going to use 2 scoops of developer. I'm using 20 volume developer. If you're unsure what strength to use, just use a 10 or a 20. You want the consistency to look something like this. You don't want it too liquidy where it's flying off the brush. We've got Stacy today. She actually has a mullet, so we're gonna do the back of her hair. You'll need a toothbrush. It doesn't matter the bristles. Is it called strength? Hardness? If you're doing this on yourself or on someone else, you're gonna start at the bottom. You don't wanna start at the top because you don't wanna put this up and it touch this hair and bleed on it. So if we start at the bottom, everything will hang down and nothing will run into each other. I'm gonna make a diagonal section like this. The sectioning will end up looking like this. One here, then here, then here, then here. So it looks like a V. The reasoning you section it in a diagonal versus a horizontal straight across, you have to think about when you put your hair up. So if I put my hair up and I've done these highlights, there'll be dink, 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 little stripes grown out. If you do this in diagonal partings, the lines won't be uniform and it'll be a staggered effect, so when it grows out, it's more natural. The first technique I'm gonna show you is for a balayage technique, which is typically where you just lighten the mid shaft to the ends. You're not going all the way up to the root. At the root, we're gonna tease it. A big tease, not one of these rat nest ones, just whoop. This is gonna make sure that our line is staggered, like grass. We don't want straight across. Again, we want these to look very natural. Balayage is a very sun-kissed natural look, not straight lines. We're gonna do a little dip in the lightener. You can do this whole section or you can do pieces. For this, I'll show you the whole section. So you start in the middle and you literally just brush it on. It doesn't have to be completely saturated through the back. For the balayage technique, typically you're not coloring every single strand of hair. So if you just kiss the top, it's going to create dimension. There's going to be your natural color on the bottom with the lightener on the top. Unless the look you're going for is completely lightened on the bottom, it would be that kind of Billie Eilish look where there's roots and then something else. But for a natural look, definitely just kiss the top. Be mindful of your ends. If your ends are frazzle-dazzled, don't overdo it there. Remember, you can do a protein filler. When we get to this part where we want to blend our root color to this part, you've already teased it, but another way to make sure this blends is to take your brush and go up, up, up. You wanna make sure your brush isn't soaking with color either. It's kind of dry brushing at the top. So that's for a fuller coverage balayage. Now, moving up the head, we're gonna create our next big subsection. Our first subsection was here. Now this one's gonna go here to create that V look. If we wanted to create a more natural balayage, we're going to tease it again at the top for our staggered effect, and we're just gonna pick random pieces of hair, almost as if you were picking out highlights. Brush it through, kiss at the top. Starting in the middle, brush it through, up at the top. You're going down in the middle to the ends, up at the top with little to no bleach on your toothbrush. That's how you would do your random pieces, and that's actually how I do the top of my hair, this part. I can foil my part line, but when it starts getting to the back, I just do this. It's way easier. We went this way, so now we're gonna go this way with our sectioning. We were here, now we're here. If you want to do a highlight all the way to the root to duplicate a foil application, slice off the top here. Do your weave. I'll do a chunky weave actually so you can see it. Take your toothbrush, start in the middle. I'm actually going to brush to the bottom on that one. Now these random pieces, it's going to be easier to hold them individually. You're just going to go to the top. Just like that. As long as you don't oversaturate this where you can literally see the bleach flying off, you don't have to worry about it bleeding to the bottom when it touches the other hair. To move forward, it's a diagonal subsection the opposite way. They're gonna start to get smaller. And I'm gonna do the full-blown balayage. You can also use a mascara wand, disposable mascara wand, or dip a rat tail comb and lightener like this, or a paddle brush works really well. Take it, drop it off in the middle, brush it down. Again, you don't want this to saturate all the way through. This would be for a more full coverage look. At the top, I don't want this straight line like I have now. Up. Moving forward, I have a diagonal line this way, so I'm gonna do the opposite this way. Just like that. Just gonna do the standard balayage for this one. Toothbrush in the middle, bring it downtown, swipe it through the ends, lightly up at the top. And don't be scared of this. Feel free to get creative. This is a really fun way to highlight hair. I mean, if you're in a salon setting or cosmetology school, I would use, at the very least, a mascara wand versus a toothbrush. But it is so fun and so easy to do on yourself. And as long as it's not oversaturated, it's not going to color whatever you're laying on top. Don't be nervous about that. But if you are nervous, just put a piece of foil under here. They're gonna start to get less angled as we move up. In the middle, we're at the top, so we're gonna go up, 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 as far as you want to go up. And at the very top, the only thing you wanna be mindful of is just your blending line. You really wanna make sure that's nice and blended. That's what you're gonna be seeing the most. There is no processing time with lightener, you just have to watch it. It's going pretty quickly. This isn't going to get platinum blonde. I would have to do this several times to get a white blonde, but typically balayage is a more natural look, so it's only a couple shades, usually lighter than your natural hair color or the root hair color. Now, if you're doing highlights, the highlight technique where you're just doing little stripes, you may want to let it process a little longer. I would just avoid going outside under the sun or heat. Heat causes this to expand and liquefy, and you don't want this running all throughout the hair and creating a big mess. Here she is. It really could benefit from a toner. It has an orange tint to it, but it is a nice level of blonde where it's going to fade really nicely. You can see from the root color, there's no harsh line here in the middle. There's our first piece. It's obviously the brightest because we put it on first, but you see how the diagonal lines would benefit you. If you put this in a ponytail, it's not right at the hairline. And any way you split this, if you wore your hair up, half up, I guess, right here, there's not a harsh line because we did diagonal lines. And I believe this is where we highlighted it. That wraps up our toothbrush highlights balayage. If you have any comments, questions, video suggestions, make sure you leave them below. I'm here every single Friday for DIY hair.